Welcome back to the Ferrari 458 GT3 Widebody series. In the last episode, we left off with the whole front end assembly pretty much bolted on the car, ready to make a fabrication mount. Now, we are going to spend some time on that today, but we're going to be focusing on the rear end of the car today. I've already went ahead and started disassembling some of these side pieces for the rear bumper, and it's ready to be pulled off. At that point, we're going to go ahead and put the rear bumper on the car and mock it up, see how it fits, see if there are any brackets to even attach it, and we'll go from there. Not really sure what we're going to run into, so the day's just beginning. With the stock rear bumper off, you can kind of get a better look of what we're going to be dealing with here. So on the bumper, there's only a few places of attachment. There's two bolt holes underneath that go from corner to corner. And then you have these side mount holes right here. And then you kind of have like these really particular clips on the top. On our GT3 bumper, we have those bolt holes on the bottom corners, which is good. But on the sides, I don't really see anything. Like there's this bracket. Oh, there's actually a bracket right here that I'm just now noticing. So that might bolt up and then this should clip in. I should be able to throw this on right away, and once that's on, we can kind of see if we need to make any new bracket. And at that point, we can almost get ready to start cutting the rear over fenders because we'll have like the guideline of what we're gonna cut. A lot of people were saying I should sell this to a couple different YouTubers who need it. I might do it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it quite yet. And to be honest, we still need to hold on to it because we need to take all the measurements over from the motion sensors and the backup cam. All of that stuff we need to somehow integrate into that bumper, which I am very scared about. With that being said, let's go ahead and try and test with this bumper and see how it looks. So we have no point of attachment at all. It does not have anything, which we could probably make, but it doesn't even get close to anything, unfortunately. And it does not fit snug right here like the stock bumper did. Oh boy. Yep, so maybe there's something. What I suggest to you right now, even this, dude, like doesn't even come close. Like that's not.
It's because of this plastic or the 10-mile-per-hour crash thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the crash bar might have to go, or like the foam might have to go.
Let's try that.
You want to take the foam out?
What the heck? Oh.
All right, we'll try it again and see if we have any closer fitment.
You know how you're saying there's no bolting hole? Look at this.
Taking a second look here with the rear over fender on. Just like the front bumper and the rear bumper, they have like a positive and negative cavity to kind of fit together. The rear over fender kind of has like a lip right here. And that lip actually marries perfectly with the rear bumper. And this wrapped perfectly on the rear edge. So this is actually where the over fender sits. Pretty cool. So we can see what the actual fitment will look like. You really don't need to cut that much from this because it overhangs already so much. Like if you really wanted to, if you had like strong enough spring rates where like you wouldn't really compress too much of your wheel, you could almost run this kit without cutting the rear over fenders. It'd be very stupid and wouldn't be wise, but like you almost could just for the aesthetic look of it. Well, probably only need to cut like 1.5 inches of material off the car. But looking at the rear bumper, I think the best way to go about it, because it doesn't utilize any of these stock mounting holes, you can kind of see they had a Zeus tab right here, they had a Zeus tab right here, and there's a Zeus tab right here. And there's actually a bracket on the inside right here that you could pretty easy make a straight shot, something like this, to make a bracket support. Rather than dealing with a bunch of mini pieces and whatnot, I think that I'm gonna go with the Zeus tab route. So we'll just do a Zeus tab right there, Zeus tabs off the back, and then the wing support where the wing actually goes from the crash bar and comes through.
So due to the time frame we have, we totally forgot to film everything, but we put our heads down, we got deep into it, we made a bracket. This fender is on. I just spent the last like hour or so making this bracket just in here. The side skirt has to be modified to fit our new bracket, but this should be in place and not going anywhere. And let me show you how close that gets.
You can see the bracket kind of inside a little bit. Oh, you can see it right there. That's so close.
That's like,
I mean,
it's not touching it.
It's not touching at all. I mean, you could move it a hair forward if we wanted to, and this is gonna come off for paint, so like we can readjust it a little bit closer next time. But this front fender is pretty much like, for the most part, hard mounted. It's mounted on the inside, it's mounted right here, and we still have to make rib nuts that go right here. But while Calvin did that side, I went ahead and did the same thing on my side. You can see here we don't have the side skirt. You can get kind of like a better look at what the bracket is, and it's super, super simple. No real crazy fabrication skills here, but just a simple square bracket. And obviously, we're gonna shape these up and make them a lot less intrusive and ugly. Even though you'll never see them, we're obviously gonna cut these up and make them pretty. This is just a rough little bracket just to make sure our fitment is good. But that's how simple we're trying to get with this, is to make it as straightforward as possible. But I got the same thing. These fitments could be probably just a little bit close right now, but there's room for adjustment, and you can make shims if you ever need to. But both those brackets are done, which is good. Now the only thing left to do is to modify the side skirt to create enough room to clear the new bolt that we have. And once that's shaved down, that little section is 100% completed. Today's video is sponsored by Carly. Carly is an OBD2 plug-in adapter for your car that can read as a diagnostic tool, but can also be used for codes. Now, this is crucial for BMW owners out there. Carly comes with a bunch of really cool features that you can use from your phone that allows you to bypass a lot of issues and bypass a lot of time of going to someone else to fix problems with their BMW. Not only can you check codes and clear codes and see all that stuff, but the coding ability is what's really cool about this car. I'm gonna go on my phone and I'm gonna look through the list of all the possible things that are able to code, and I'm actually gonna try to change some logos on the front dash. So I see here you're able to change the back logos on the dash to go to M logos. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna download that, recode it on the car, I'm gonna restart it, and the next time the car starts up, I'm gonna see M logos in the car. And additionally, you're also able to set live feed parameters for your car that pretty much use the OBD2 port to read out different gauges. And there are a ton of gauges, from stuff like air fuel ratios to O2 sensors to live RPM ranges. Through the app, not only can you code your car, but you can also get live readouts of certain stuff that if you didn't have an aftermarket boost gauge or you didn't have an aftermarket gauge or whatever, you can use it through this app, which is such a lifesaver. And it's not just for BMW, you can get it for Toyota, you can get it for Audi, you can get it for Volkswagen. They have a bunch of different plugins for a bunch of different cars, and I'll link it all down below. And if you guys use the link provided in the description, you can get 20% off of your own Carly adapter for your own car. Thank you so much for Carly for sponsoring today's video. This is a big lifesaver for all the BMW owners out there. Now let's get back to today's video. All right, with the fenders mounted now, I actually went ahead and threw in some bolts that marry the front bumper to the fender. I didn't think it would work as well as it did, and I'm gonna try to capture this as much as I can here. You see that bolt right there? Well, there's actually a hole through here, and it's threaded on the bumper side. And luckily, thanks to Downstar, shout out to Frank, we had the perfect hardware. It was just an M8, I think it was an M835 to fit all the way through, and it threaded. So pretty much when you put the bolt in this way and you threaded it, it just like married these two together. And we have just perfect fitment. I mean, like, guys, look at this. Like this thing is mounted, it is married.
Very nice, mate.
It's pretty good, super solid. So that worked out really well. This worked out really well. We are trying to see if we can get just a little bit better fitment with our hood. It's sitting just a little bit too high on these arches, but all the other gaps are perfect. But one thing we're testing right now, as we kind of just get closer to finishing up this front end, is we're putting in the fender liners here. So you can see there's a fender liner right here. And if you go to this side, it's all open. Putting these in, it's pretty cool how it sits. Everything that is kit to kit component fits together pretty well. And everything just fits inside this front diffuser, and everything fits really well. I had to remove some bolts on this other side, which I think Calvin is doing to get it to sit 100% flush, but how that all sits in is pretty interesting. And one concern that I did have, I don't know if I should say concern, but because this is loud composite and not like a soft plastic, on street when you pick up rocks and it flings it through these guards, it's gonna be so loud, and that's not a bad thing. It's just, it's gonna sound like, you know, you're running over a bunch of rocks in a tin can. Like, you're gonna hear every little speck hit this, which is gonna be not annoying, but like, I think you'll hear it.
So seeing the fender liner go in, it touches somewhere. As you can see, TJ marked these spots. I'm gonna go ahead and whiz them away.
All right, so as you can see with those gone, this is now sitting flush for the first time. And the one bolt we were never able to get in, we were able to seat it all the way forward and literally just had enough room. And our bolts are lining up exactly with where R3 had theirs on their kit. So this 100% is fitted correctly. And for the first time, this front left wheel duct is looking pretty solid. So you can see there, that's where we had to shave off. So it did interfere quite a little bit. So on that side, and on the side to the left, just had to do a little bit of clearance mods to get it to fit. Really briefly want to point out and say thank you to our friends over at Washos. I've set up an account with them, and multiple times a week we have guys that come out from Washos and clean everyone's cars. And right now, Big T, which is Sabrina's dad, for those who don't know, is getting his car washed and vacuumed and all clean and stuff. And they're a mobile service and they come to you. And they said that if any of you guys want to utilize it for yourself, if you use the code HUNTQUARTERS, you can get 25% off of your first car wash. If any of you are interested, I'll leave the links down below in the description so you guys can check it out. And also, if any car guys out there are really good at washing cars, want to make an extra side hustle, they're hiring people to wash people's cars too. So if you're interested, definitely hit them up and check it out.
Horses. Oh my God, you are disgusting. Let go. What? Oh, that fully went in his mouth.
Why'd that get so deep?
Bro. Calvin's been
I finally got all the headlights in.
Yes.
Okay? All 2 of them. And this is the moment we've been waiting for.
Oh, hey, oh. You almost got it, brother. Ah! There you go.
We got tape. Home teeth. It's hot. Cooking, bro. Cooking out here. Take it off anyway.
5 days until 56 days until C, my boys. Are you ready?
No, I'm freaked out.
What do you mean? The front looks done.
Why'd you guys take that back off?
What do you mean?
Why'd you take that bracket off? Why'd you take that bracket off? Why?
You've been vlogging, you're not even doing your job.
No, I haven't done my job today.
Get it done, sir. Oh. Anya.
Nice to stand it. Alright, so when we're getting this rear bumper mounted on the car, a couple things that we're making right now are little simple brackets that aren't the prettiest thing, but they are simple fabrication stuff that we're making just to like hard mount this rear bumper. So we're gonna be doing 2 mirror on each side on the lower corners of the bumper, and then we're gonna replicate 2 on both sides for the left and right side. But right now, I think this is where this final bracket is gonna look like. We still need to color it up and make it look prettier. I'm sizing up hardware, making the final couple holes to make this thing where we need it to be. We're gonna be using this bracket that is stock on the car to help us make our brackets. We're trying to avoid welding where we need to, just if it's not necessary. This bracket like that, what we're gonna do now that the bracket is centered over the bottom of the hole here, we'll go ahead and mark the bottom, drill the other side so we can create a hardware piece to get our final connection. And we have the bumper taped down to like where fitment is perfect on both sides, so as long as we make brackets that fit this, we should be good. And huge shout out to Evan because he's kind of holding my hand and doing this because I've never done it before.
I mean, I don't know if this is like the A1 way to do this, but it's gonna work and it's gonna hold it down and this bumper's not gonna fall off.
It's gonna get her done because she's a race car, eh?
This bracket works really, is good, yeah.
This one,
Alright, so here's an example of what it looks like. I just finished bolting this in, and I'm still testing what size hardware to use. Could use a little bit longer of a bolt there, and again, not the prettiest thing, but for something you're not gonna see at all, like ever at all, and the fact that we're dodging welding, I'm pretty happy with that.
pretty solid. Holy crap, that ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, I need to tighten a little bit more. I need to use different washers on the bottom, but that's in.
Where's
so,
the piece we cut?
one done.
Yeah.
Small progress is being made, but progress is progress here. By the end of the day, we'll 100% have this bumper mounted up. This corner is done, then we have this corner done. Simple yet effective. Right now, we're just trying to decide what we're gonna do with these insides here. I think rather than using the Zeus tabs, I think we're gonna try and just fiberglass like a well nut right here, and then just utilize the corner to corner situation. Sorry, you guys can't see that at all. But we're gonna try to just marry everything from right here rather than using the Zeus tabs. Last minute design change, but I think it might be for the better. I haven't really shown yet, but we mounted the rear camera mount here, and we made the hole a little bit big because we're gonna have all this stuff smoothed over, so you're not gonna see a line here. Everything's just gonna be married together, and like it's gonna be like married. So got that mounted on the inside, which is super easy. And we also went ahead and removed all of the parking sensors from the stock and rear bumper. So here is the one from the rear bumper, but something that we were able to salvage was the little like connector pieces on the inside of the bumper, which I didn't think we were gonna be able to save. I thought we were gonna have to hand make these brackets to hold in these sensors, but we were able to chisel off the mounts and they came off all together. So we're gonna have to epoxy these on the inside of the bumper once we decide it's time to put these in. But that was a huge save. That was a big stress line that I was a little bit worried about. Thankfully, we're gonna be able to transfer them over, but that's not gonna be until like the final things.
All right, so this bumper bracket, there is a little bit of space that we have right here. So we're just using this one to bolt to these two right here, and then these two down here. So it'll cinch it up a little bit nicely, but it'll still give enough room to not like pull the bumper off. I need to somehow figure out how to get this bolt in. I may need your help here, Teach.
Hand me this bolt, I'll do it.
Shout out to the homemade welds, baby.
You know, we're fabricators out here, brother.
I know there are probably some people who are looking at it and are judging craftsmanship, but here's the thing. We're doing everything by ourselves, which was the goal.
Amateurs, in-house, like
Amateurs, to show that anybody can do this. It just takes a lot of time. You don't know what you're doing, but you can do it.
No, we got it, we got it.
So I eyeballed that technology. Hopefully that works. We'll find out in a second, Kev. Shout out to me out here with that eyeball spec. Got that eyeball spec thread that, Kev.
He did it over there. He did it over there. I need to stop doing the eyeball. I totally off.
I can never, dude. You see these two extra holes there? Yeah, that's because I f***ed up.
Well,
Look at that. Damn. Look at that, baby.
That's a good mount, dog.
Bracket, baby. Sweet. Now the only thing left to do is we need to make a bracket for this side, which once we get that, the goal for today will be achieved. Yeah, that was the main goal, is to get that bumper on. All right, so I'm pretty sure I'm decided on the wheel that I have here. The wheel that I want to do for this car is really nothing like any other wheels that I have. They're pretty bold. I'm gonna go around the shop and show it to someone and see what they think about it, but I'm not gonna show you guys. What do you think about these wheels for the 458? You think so?
Yeah, they have to be deep. I like those. I mean, there's a lot of wheels like, well, good go this car, but those are good.
I'm not a fan, but it's spicy.
I knew she wouldn't get it. I knew she wouldn't like them.
Did you get them?
In the next 60 seconds, I'm gonna show you how to make a bracket from nothing. Think it's long enough?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, someone will hold that while as we do it, but. Ta-da! All right, so the rear bumper is completely mounted. It's not like super tight because we're not doing our final install. Fitment on the bumper is pretty good. We're noticing that on our left side, so the driver's side, it's like pretty good fitment. Oh, that was opening a lot of it up. So obviously we could tighten that up, make that a little bit better. And then we also resined in the little
the backup camera mount?
backup cam, so when we do the camera, like that's already done. We just send that fiberglass over that, epoxy that. We still need to draw all the sensors and whatnot, but we definitely need body work on this side. So when it goes to paint, they can probably fill this in just a little bit and close that gap, but that is solid, that is mounted.
Good on you two.
That is exactly what we needed.
Job
so
done.
The next thing we have to do, we need to, I guess the next episode is gonna be the meaty episode everyone's been asking for.
Ooh.
Big meaty episode.
Addressing what needs to be addressed.
Look, these are the last things to do.
Unless you
Time
want
to cut?
No.
Let's cut it.
Dude, that's
Give me
gonna
a-
be
give me a-
so
oh, good
painful.
You know what I want to do? I just want to take a key and just go.
Yeah,
Just
good.
because.
Just because.
Can we all get a moment of silence for this Fender here?
Hey, she ain't
You got
gone
a
To
knife?
pay
yet.
respect.
You got a knife?
She ain't gone yet. No,
Hey.
no. Oh.
Hey.
I don't even think you can keep.
Hey!
Oh, please. Oh.
You do the honors, sir. Do you know where you're cutting, by the way?
Why would you disrespect it
doesn't-
like that?
Oh!
Please.
Do you know where you're cutting?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's this.
This
Oh,
pretty
you
much
sure?
that range.
Got him.
Oh! All right. Whoa! Easy.
Chill.
All right,
mad.
so
He's getting
we
mad.
obviously need to cut that in the next episode, and then we just need to hard mount our little motion sensors, and this thing is off to paint. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. We will catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out, and keep moving forward.